How y'all doing? This is Coach DJ Davis with the Just Run the Play Company, and we're here to bring you another segment of Playmakers, brought to you in part by the Just Run the Play Company and Riverport Creative Group. Today we're excited because we have another Playmaker in our studios today, and that is Mr. Rodney Alex. Mr. Rodney Alex, we're glad to have you.
Glad to be here and appreciate you having me.
Oh, yeah, it's all good. Now, we have Mr. Alex here because he's doing a lot of things in the community. Now, this is somebody that has been part of our community, working with youth, working with troubled youth, working with youth that are seeking answers. He's been part of that program for you've worked with youth for over 32 years when you was over at Swanson.
That's
is that
right.
correct?
32 years.
Now, tell us a little bit about what you got going on right now. From what I understand, you spent the last year and a half with Christopher House. Is that correct? Tell us a little bit.
Youth Center.
Okay.
I am the outreach coordinator for Christopher's Youth Center, and my job is to get the information out about the services that Christopher's Youth Center offers.
Okay.
And
okay.
One of the things that we do is we address the issues of kids between the ages of 11 and 17.
Okay.
We house those kids, and we look at kids with issues going on as far as homelessness, running away from home, domestic issues in the home, bullying. We're advocates for kids.
Okay.
Anything that is going to cause a kid or a youth to have a crisis situation in his life, we address those issues and try to make sure that we can provide the kid some kind of way to live a normal everyday life.
Okay, and so the Christopher Youth Center, y'all are located here in Monroe, Louisiana.
We are located at 205 Smith Avenue in Monroe, Louisiana. We also, in that perspective, have what you call the Transitional Living Program.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that.
The Transitional Living Program entails if a youth can prove that he's homeless or they are homeless, they can meet the criteria of their assessment. We will put them up in an apartment, pay their bills, pay their rent for up to 21 months. Oh. They don't have to have a job. They can have kids. They just can't have a significant other living with them. If they get a job, and there is some criteria as far as being in the Transitional Living Program.
Okay.
If they get a job, then 30% of their income goes toward their living condition. And when they complete their stay within the 20-month period, then they get all that money back to help them get started where they're going.
So I mean, you guys have a lot going on in one building. So you mean to tell me that not only do you deal with youth that are homeless or maybe in a domestic situation, a domestic violence situation, any type of crisis such as like you say, migrant or maybe nowhere to stay. Right. You also have programs set up to allow people to transition into some type of normalcy.
Some type of normalcy. That's our effort.
Now, if someone that's watching right now was interested in finding out more about these particular services, how would they get in contact? I mean, is it something like a form they need to fill out? Can they just show up?
Well, the first thing they need to do is they need to call and do an assessment on the phone. Our number is 318-345-5556.
Okay.
Let them know exactly what it is that you're standing in need of. There will be an assessment done on the telephone, and then they will tell you to come in for an appointment so you can speak with a counselor. We do have counselors there. We have social workers.
Okay. Okay. What area is this? Is there a certain region or
no? We cover about 12 different parishes, and I say the 12 parishes because we also have another program within what we do called Youth Voices of Change. And Youth Voices of Change is funded in part with a grant by Blue Cross and Blue Shield. And what the purpose of that grant is for us to we've identified youth in 3 schools: Ouachita High School, Lee Junior High, and Good Hope Middle School here in West Monroe.
Okay. Okay.
And what their responsibility is to get the information out about Christopher's Youth Center.
Okay.
In the 12 parish area through social media.
Okay, okay. And you speaking of social media, I noticed that your website for this particular project is www.teen-help.com. Is that the accurate?
That is an address if a kid is out and he can text that text 14 hotline.
Okay.
And it's a national hotline, but they can direct them to us. They can direct them to wherever they are located.
Okay, okay.
That's what that is.
Okay. Now, you spent about almost 2 years in the capacity that you're in now. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. What do you see? You know, anything that's going on with the Christopher Youth Project? Say over the summer, y'all have any other upcoming projects or anything that our playmakers out that's watching us right now that could tie into if they want to know more about what's going on with you guys?
Well, we do a lot of different things during the summer. We identify some recreational centers around the area in Monroe, and I do sessions with them 3 days out of a week for about an hour and a half, and we discuss simple things as far as internet safety, things around the home, issues concerning running away and what causes kids to run away. And we just try to get the kids to understand that there are some resources for them instead of making bad choices. Because one of the things about a kid being homeless is if he's not getting any help, then he falls into the category of, you know, street slavery.
Right.
I'm just going to use that term.
Okay.
Probably fall into the category of crime.
Okay.
Anything that is unhealthy and that is going to not be productive as far as the youth is concerned. So we try to address those issues in advance. We try to get the kids to understand that there are better choices than some of the choices that we know kids make.
Oh yeah, and you know I work with young people, and I've experienced a lot of those kids who sometimes just need somebody like yourself to let them know what their options are.
Right.
And it seems, you know, just based off your experience, like I mentioned earlier, Mr. Alex, he spent, you know, he retired. I mean, 32 years. He committed 32 years of his life working with some of the youth over at Swanson. He spent the last few years also working with the Christopher Youth Center. What drew you into this particular company and this particular project? What stood out to you about this project?
Well, one of the things is my aspirations to try to see kids, you know, do better for themselves, or have an opportunity to live a more productive life. I have grandkids of my own, and one of the things that I do is make sure that they're in church, make sure that I'm mentoring them in a perspective that when these trials and tribulations come in their lives, that they have the ability to make better choices.
Okay. Now, what I would also like to mention, a lot of people don't realize that, Mr. Alex, you also tied into, and you've been doing a lot of work with the Northeast Louisiana Delta African American Heritage Museum. Right. I'm trying to figure out, I mean, how many hours a day do you have? I mean, I know you say you retired, but it seems like you're working just as much as you did before you retired.
I did, and in fact, I'm probably doing a little bit more. But it's not, you know, how many hours I put in it.
Okay.
It's the benefit of what I do that really gives me the motivation to continue to do what I do. No matter what the hours are, I'm available 24 hours a day if I get a call. Even in that perspective, Christopher Youth Center, if we get a call on our hotline, we do go pick kids up 24 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
And it doesn't matter where they are. If they're within the area of our reach, then we're going to go and get them. If we are not able to go and get them, which that is probably going to always be a no-no, we're always going to be able to go get them wherever they are. And I do want to mention this one thing. There is a criteria as far as being in our shelter between the ages of 11 and 17 years old.
Yeah, tell us about that.
And one of the criteria of being in that particular program is the kids still have to go to school.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you an example. We're here in West Monroe. And if a kid comes to the shelter and he lives in Ruston and he goes to Ruston High School, we're going to take him to school every morning and pick him up every evening because that's a part of the program.
Oh, wait, hold on. Time out. You mean to tell me you guys personally in that situation are going to drive from West Monroe to Ruston every day, 5 days a week, twice a day?
That's part of the criteria of being in the shelter.
Well,
you got to go to school.
Now, in our conversations I mean, you know, we've talked on several different occasions. I was not privy to that kind of information, but it ties into what we all about. I mean, being a playmaker, that's what playmakers do, that kind of stuff. And I want to just commend you, Mr. Alex, for having that kind of commitment and that kind of dedication. I mean, and the entire staff that works with you.
And it's the staff that do it. My job is to get this information out to the public.
Okay, I got you.
And I do whatever it is that needs to be done as far as the facility is concerned. And if anything comes up as it relates to a youth, then yeah, I'm available to do anything. It does not matter. As long as I feel comfortable in what I'm doing, that I'm doing the right thing to help a kid. That's it.
Well, I want to segue, and we'll have the Christopher Youth Center information up on the screen, and I would really, you know, want to take some time. I mean, if it's okay with you, to have you come back and just talk to us a little bit more about some of the other things you're doing. I know, like I said, I mentioned earlier, you're with the African American Heritage Museum, and you know, and for time's sake, you know, we're gonna have you come back, and I really want you to, you know, just get all that information out, because I know you guys are looking to raise money and do some things like that. But we really want to make sure we have you come back. And for those of you out there that are watching and you want to find out more about the Christopher Youth Center, we have the links that you'll see on the screen. And if you want to, you know, make pledges, want to find out more about it, or even if you are a young person out there right now that's struggling, make sure you link in, and I'm pretty sure Mr. Alex and his staff will be able to help you out. Once again, I want to appreciate you for coming and hanging out with us.
And I'm glad.
Hey, man, you did a great job, man. I thought you told me you was gonna be nervous, man. You did a great job.
Nervous.
Hey, stay tuned for more Playmakers.